How's it? Cause it's time to walaau with me, Mr. Walaau19. Join us as we meet your uncles, your aunties, your brothers, your sisters, your brothers, sisters, uncles, cousins, neighbors, grandmother, all the ohana. We'll take you to breathtaking places you've never been. Meet famous people you've never seen. Kick back and cruise, you know the ruse.
The day has to end. I'm so happy we made new friends. We'll meet tomorrow, sometime, same place. Looking forward to see your smiling face. Walaau, the day has to end. I'm so happy we made new friends. We'll meet tomorrow, sometime, same place. Looking forward to see your smiling face. Walaau, 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 walaau.
Aloha Kauai, mahalo nui loa, and thank you for joining us this week at yet another exciting and informative episode of Walaau. I'm Dickie Chang. As we know, as we speak, this entire week is going to be dedicated to our historic Koloa Plantation Day celebration. We'll have an opportunity to let you folks know about one of the many highlights. That, of course, is going to be the parade this coming Saturday in Koloa. We just want to let everybody know what to do, where to park, all of what we have to offer you in this wonderful historic celebration. We'll have an opportunity to speak to the parade coordinator, Ero Kaneshiro. We also do have an interview that we did less than 2 years ago with then living treasure and, of course, one of the co-founders of the event, the late Phyllis Kurimura. But first, we had an opportunity, which was a great idea, to interview a lot of the old-time Koloa residents. Many of them are still blessed alive with us. Some have sadly passed on, one of whom I should say was a very dear friend, the late Stella Burgess. Kick back, relax, listen up, listen very closely, because this is history here on a Garden Island of Kauai, that of course in conjunction with sugarcane.
The original sesquicentennial was actually held in the town itself. It was like a street party. And across from the old Koloa town, where they have it all barricaded out, used to be a movie theater there at, once upon a time, and then it was just a cleared out area with a slab for where the movie theater was, and other buildings had been there that were torn down. And so it was a nice open area amongst the monkey pod trees, and so they put up a tent in there, and they had a big luau. And after that was over, Phyllis really is the one who really spearheaded it and came up with the idea. She's the mother of the Koloa Plantation Days. Decided that it would be neat to do it every year.
You enter into a parade because you want to share a part of your life too with everyone who's watching. And that's what it's about. If you've come for the competition, then you're there for the wrong reason. If you've come for the sharing and the laughter and the enjoyment, that's what it's about. We have the train, Paolo, from Grove Farm, and that makes a great entry into the parade. Everybody doesn't always see a train, you know, where they come from, the middle of New York City. They never see a train. The children of Koloa never had the enjoyment of riding on a train. You know, so those are some of the things that make highlights. Luca and Roddy and all of their team members donate their time and services to the parade every year as marshals. That makes a great community input because they come from all over the island. It's not only the South Shore they come from.
This is the new state rodeo champion, Miss Hawaii High School Rodeo Queen. Well, God bless you all. Thank you very much. Travel on safety. And again, big hand for our Kauai Keiki and High School Rodeo Association. Let's give them a big round of applause. And thank you for participating in Koloa Plantation Days. Aloha, everybody. Thank you very much, everybody. Hey, Elise, how we doing? Everybody happy? Kalani, we all happy? Thank you all very much. Mahalo, brothers. Beautiful horses. Let's give our units a big round of applause, everybody. And I guess the biggest round of applause should go to the pooper scoopers, everybody. Big hand for the pooper scoopers. Okay, this is our Koloa Elementary School float. Koloa Elementary School's ukulele band rides in the float, driven by Kukuiula, and plays their many songs. The band is led by Eileen and Niles Kageyama. They are the ukulele instructors. Thank you, Eileen and Niles, living treasures here on our Garden Island of Kauai. Here's our ukulele class. A one, a two, a 1, 2, 3, hit it. Sounds like the Opihi man is coming. Kukui Ula Decorated Vehicle has partnered with Koloa Elementary School to feature the Koloa School Ukulele Band for your listening pleasure this morning. Wow. That's the way to get to the judges' hearts. It is called bribery. Everybody read a book. All the children read a book and pass it on. Big hand for Kukuya Ula friends, and of course our Koloa Elementary School, the floats. Thank you, everybody. Thank you. Don't you worry about me. I didn't want a book. Don't you worry. Don't you worry about me. There is the vegetable truck right over here. Thank you, fellas. We got some long dogs, some mangoes, some bananas, some squash, some papayas, some grapefruit, some beans. We got Shelly Gerardo in the house. Everybody's happy. We got Ivan right over here, Tepa. Ivan, Tepa, and we have Brenda. We got Brenda Matasako. One more time. We got Brenda. Hi, we got Brenda. Hi, darling. Hello. How are we doing? Hello, everybody. Thank you for coming. Hello, Gloria Vanilla. You thought I missed you, huh? Okay, we got bicycles over here. Everybody's happy over here. A lot of smiling faces. Everybody's happy. Thank you very much. Thank you so very much. Oh, we got something. Okay, thank you.
On the horse.
Thank you very much. Let's give our big round of applause for our good friends over here at Kukuyula and Koloa Elementary School. Ladies and gentlemen, the Marriott's Wild High Vacation Club, thank you very much. Wow. Hello, everybody. Hi, Auntie Linda. Thank you, everybody. And incidentally, our princesses are wearing all the colors of the rainbow of the Big Island, Maui. Molokai Ilana'i, Kapo Olave, Oahu, and Niihau. Thank you, everybody. Thank you. And the song sang, of course, by the late great Israel Kamaka Viva Ole. Somewhere over the rainbows. Beautiful decorated float.
Aloha.
I believe that this is the Kauai All Girls Rodeo. Is that correct? It is the All Girls Rodeo. Look at their beautiful attire. Look at all the colors. The All Kauai Girls Rodeo Association was established in 1999 to perpetuate and promote Hawaii's Paniolo lifestyle while providing an opportunity for women to compete in All-American Rodeo of Sports. Look how beautiful these ladies are. Look how lovely they look. Thank you, everybody.
Slow down.
Again, a big hand for Kauai All Girls Rodeo Mounted Units. They all look lovely. Thank you very much. Hi, Nancy. How you doing? Thank you, everybody. Look how lovely they look. Thank you very much. Wow. Unbelievable. The Kauai All Girls Rodeo. Thank you very much, ladies. Aloha to you. Thank you very much. You folks look great. Our best colors all year long.
Of course, there are many of them that join every year just to be a part of a parade and part of a community. So you're not quite sure who you get every year, but you have a lot of them that return every year. Kolo Early School is one of them that returns every year with the children. And it's a great time to have kids in a parade. They enjoy totally mingling in with people in the outside of the parade watching it.
Basically, way back then, it was just a one-day event. It was a Saturday event. We had a parade. After the parade, people went to the park, and we had our food booths, craft booths, and our game booths, and what have you. And it wasn't. It slowly became, in terms of the community itself, getting interested after years and years of the event, that we started to incorporate the idea of having supporting events come in. And slowly, one or two or three would come in, And then it built up to what it is now. We have roughly over 20 supporting events over a 10-day period.
It's good to remember your roots. Good to remember where you came from. And the town of Koloa is very tightly related to the sugar industry. You cannot separate the two. So what Koloa is today is in some way the result of the sugar industry.
For me, I'm really grounded in sugar, having four generations of our family work in the sugar industry, and over almost probably 10 plantations, and on 3 different islands, and so sugar is in my blood. I still love the smell of burning sugar cane. A lot of people can't stand it, but I mean it brings back a lot of memories. I love the smell of driving by the mill and hear smell the fresh bagasse and all that other stuff, and so sugar is in our blood, and we hope that people can remember the hard work that people put into the sugar industry. Having for myself experienced all the jobs from the ground up.
I think of the sweet memories, I think my favorite is the employees that we had. Everybody tried so hard to make our operations work. And this was especially true as we got into coffee, they were learning new things. And my best memory are the employees that we had. They were just top-notch people.
One of the things that I think I learned, growing up in that kind of environment is to work hard. I learned to work hard. And at that time, it wasn't enjoyable, but you know what? It pays off when you grow up. Because when you grow up, you know how to work hard, it pays off.
And I'll just tell you a little story. It probably reflects more who my father was than anybody else, but when I was young, starting at age 15, all the youths, the boys on the plantation, were expected to work in the summer months, and the plantation would hire them. And so when we all came of age 15 years old, we were chomping at the bit to go to work and get some money. We had all these grandiose plans of buying surfboards and stuff. And so the IR director for the plantation at Kilauea, where I grew up, went to my dad and said, Mr. Smith, where do you want your 2 sons? Because my brother and myself are twins. And so where do you want your 2 sons to work this summer? And so my dad asked him, what do you mean, Tom? He said, well, I want you to tell me where you want to put your sons, in what departments you want to put your sons, thinking that my dad was going to give us, both of my brother and myself, cush jobs and everything would be set for us. And so my dad said to him, Tom, are you sure that you want me to choose? And Tom said, yes, I want you to choose. So his name, Tom Takimoto was his name anyway. And my dad said, okay, I want one of my sons to go into the Sabidong gang, which is the spray gang. And I want my other son to go into the seed cutting gang. Now those are the 2 of the hardest jobs on the plantation. And Tom Takimoto said to my dad, he said, well, those are very hard jobs, Mr. Smith. What are we going to do if your kids can't do the job? He said, we do the same to them that we do to anybody else. If they can't do the job, you get rid of them, you fire them. So my father was very into setting the example. And so, we went there, but we learned a lot about hard work. And I'll tell you, on my first day on the job, by 9 o'clock in the morning, I drank all of my water. And I thought, oh my God, am I going to survive today? But it was a good lesson, because when I came back to work for the plantation, I supervised people doing those very same jobs, the foreman and that sort of thing. And I knew how hard it was, how hard the work was, and I exactly knew what was expected.
And one of the big things sugar did was bring the diversification in population to the islands. you know, by bringing the different racial groups in to work on the plantation, that's what gave us the diversification in people that we have in Hawaii. And so I think that's one of the big things sugar did.
When you watch the parade and all the ideas that people have of what it was living in a plantation or living in their plantation style, I think that kind of brings back all the memories. When you have the ethnic food going, I mean, the smell that went through everything. No one locked their doors, you know. You went over to someone's house and stayed the whole weekend and nobody cared. Your mom knew where you was and your dad, and it was fine. I mean, those are the memories we grew up. I mean, stealing the flumes in the plantation and making canoes to ride in the reservoirs and down the awai, the ditches. I mean, those are memories of, oh, and having red dirt all over everything and never being able to take it out and trying to figure out how you're going to get home because you're always told not to get dirty with red dirt, you know? So all of those memories start to pop back into your brain, you know? Oh, chicken fights that were all over the place that you'd go to have lunch and eat. It was never thought bad by any of us. You know, this is the way the plantation was. This is what you did. I mean, it was all lots of fun. While the supervisor chased you while you stole the flumes going down a Hawaii ditch, you know?
We always had something to do. We always came up with games to play. We'd go hiking over at Waita, you know, and climb on the hills and slide on the grass with cardboard, and we'd dig a cave on the side and spend time. We'd go fishing, and those are my memories, you know, and those were great days. And of course, as you're growing up, you're thinking, you know, well, I guess this is life. But when you look back and say, wow, that really was a good life, because it's all about spending time with people, enjoying, you know, what's available to us here on Kauai, which we oftentimes take for granted.
We would make balls. We'd put a little rock in the middle and get rags and wrap it around and make it into a ball, and we could play with it. Or dig holes in the ground so that we could play marbles.
This was our playground, all pasture land. And growing up, we used to run around barefooted in the pasture, and as far as activities, we used to go and make traps to catch the bird and catch enough of them. That was our treat, to cook it. And mango trees in the pasture, that was the only treats we had, because nobody could afford to go to a shop and get an ice cream bar or things like that. So we had seasonal treats, fruits, mangoes, guavas, and plums, papayas. That's the only thing we had in those days for goodies for us, yeah.
My greatest memories were, like my Filipino friends, we're going down to Mahalopu Beach and spearfish when we got there. Then we would, in the evening, fish with rods, no reels, and we would catch sand crabs by digging a hole in the sand, taking the inside of the fish we speared and the heads, put it in the bottom of this little can. It's an old used saloon pilot can, about a 5-gallon size can, down there. And the crabs would come and go in there, and they'll fill the bucket, overflowing. You know, that 5-gallon can of crabs. And we catch them, we had a little pot, we'll scoop up some seawater, till we fill up the crab, and we boil them. And we brought some rice, and some pour down. Drinking water we got from what they call spring pump. You drink water. And then tell stories till we fall asleep.
So the beach was a special thing for us too, but nothing that we could just walk down any time we wanted.
On 4th of July.
And every 4th of July, during the 30s, plantation would get the train and people up in town that there was track that went down to Koloa19 Beach. So the plantation used to have goodies for all of us, soda pop, shave ice, and that was a really special occasion for us because there was nothing else, you know, and no money, so that was a big treat for us, 4th of July. But it was a big, the whole town used to go down there at Koloa19 Beach.
People make their own bentos and food, different kinds of food, and nobody went to buy food, but they all made their own rice ball.
So sweet memories this year. What a better way, 25 years. Think of all the memories you had. Think of all the memories you'll have in the future after you do this parade and come to it.
Thank you, Kauai. We're going to have to take a short break, but stay tuned. When we come back, we'll have an opportunity to speak to the parade chair, Errol Kaneshiro, and we'll tell you folks everything that you need to know about this coming Saturday's Koloa Plantation Day celebration. Walaau, we'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Jay Robertson, Chairman of the Membership and Public Relations Committee for the Kauai Chamber of Commerce. Our committee is responsible for, one, services that are provided to the members and encouraging them to continue their membership. Of course, as any chamber grows and gains its membership, it becomes more effective and more influential. Part of the reason you should be a member for the Kauai Chamber is the advocacy that we do on your behalf at the state legislature as well as our county government for action that may impact your business. The other thing is you have a variety of opportunities to network and to socialize with other business members, and we offer some great opportunities to learn. There's some wonderful educating workshops that you can take part in, for everything from human resources to legal developments to what may be coming up in the future in taxes or human relations issues. So with that, you can learn an awful lot about making your business better. I think one of the primary things you should consider in joining the chamber is that you become a critical part of the fabric of the economy of the island. You actually add something to the whole structure of our economy, and you help to make that better. Of course, being a chamber member has a lot of benefits to it, and you will certainly find out about those as you join us. We have a variety of committees. We encourage you to be a part of that, but we more importantly really want you to associate with each of the members, build your associations, network, find out how you can improve your business and be much more successful at what you do. All of that is part of being a member of the Kauai Chamber of Commerce. I'm Jay Robertson, Chairman of the Membership and Public Relations Committee for your Kauai Chamber of Commerce.
Aloha, Randy Riggin here at King Auto Center. You folks in the market for a new vehicle, we got you covered. You're looking for a truck, all new Ram 1500. If you're looking for a fuel economy, all new 2019 Honda Insight, come on down, stop by. For my friends and family, come ask for Randy at King Auto Center. Be lifetime friends. Aloha.
Thank you, Kauai, and welcome back. Let's speak to the parade coordinator who's been involved with the parade for the past 10 years. Hard to believe this beautiful young man needs no introduction on the Garden Island Kauai. That, of course, is our very dear friend, Errol Kaneshiro. So, Koloa Town means not just Koloa Plantation Days, but for many people, the roots are extremely deep.
Yeah, for me it's deep. My family's always been in Koloa. My great-grandpa was raised his family right behind the Koloa ballpark. They called it Banana Camp. My grandpa was raised there. My grandma lived right behind First Hawaiian Bank. And so, yeah, I mean, and then I was raised just a little ways up in Omao. So Koloa runs really deep through our veins.
Now, Errol Kaneshiro, you are the, amongst many other things, you are the parade chair. What kind of responsibility is that? It must be like insanely crazy, like sleep is never on the agenda.
Yeah, we get applications all the way up until the day of the parade, which I don't encourage. Luckily we have a lot of parade participants that have been participating for a long time, and they turn their applications in early, and it's a lot of coordinating, organizing, but ultimately, I couldn't have a successful parade if I didn't have participants that are willing to go out every year, donate their time, money to go and put a parade group together or decorate a float or decorate a vehicle and actually spend their time, their weekend there walking in the parade, and I'm extremely grateful for that.
As a fourth generation, and of course your parents your grandparents and what have you, we cannot stop to think about the Stella Burgess of the world, Carol Ann, of course, Phyllis Kunimura. There's just so many people that we're so used to seeing there at the parade, and they literally kind of like hand it off to you and the next millennials.
Yeah, I mean, it's big shoes to fill. I actually started about 10 years ago, and it was because of Auntie Stella Burgess and Auntie Phyllis Kunimura just asking me to be a part of Koloa Plantation Days, and then Auntie Stella asked me to help her with the parade. And so I've been working on the parade. This is my 10th, going on my 10th year. And, unfortunately, when Auntie Stella passed away, then it was a big gap that I had to fill. And, fortunately for me, she spent a lot of time just training me up and, teaching me how to do the parade and what goes on around. And, Auntie Stella, she had her hands in a lot of stuff. She not only did the parade, she helped with entertainment, she helped with parks events. So it really gave me a good idea of what's going on during that day.
Did you ever think that they were passing down a torch? I mean, did you ever think that you were the next, one of the chosen few to make this happen?
I guess I could say I was naive. I was there just as a helper, thinking I'm doing my duty. I never expected all of the responsibility to end up falling on my shoulders. But there's some pride thing to it. It's Koloa. We have to, we're following in Auntie Stella and Auntie Phyllis's footsteps, and we have to do a good parade, keep Koloa Plantation Days alive, and just put on a good event for everyone.
You remember Arokonisha? Remember last year when that beautiful golden shower tree that we all know and love? Remember, like half of the tree was blooming, the other half, for whatever, trade winds, Kona winds, whatever, was bare. And we thought about the fact that we lost Auntie Phyllis. But that was also a momentous year because Suyoka, after 100th anniversary, sold, and the family, basically retired and walked into the sunset.
Yeah, to have a organization last 100 years, it's something amazing. And, we've had great grand marshals in the parade. Suyoka's was last year. Prior to that, we actually had Auntie Phyllis in the parade as a grand marshal alive, which to me, I think I cherish because, at Auntie Stella, we celebrated her after she passed, which is kind of a sad momentous, but when we were able to celebrate Auntie Phyllis for all her hard work and she was alive, I think, that was a great thing.
Well, she was alive, and if my memory serves me correctly, that was the last parade that she participated in. Then soon thereafter, in December 7th, if I'm correct, she a few months after the parade in Koloa Plantation Day, she had sadly passed, which was a shocker to all of us.
Yeah, definitely a shocker to all of us. She was my kindergarten teacher, just very highly respected in Koloa, and she gave her heart to Koloa.
And of course, we are talking about Phyllis Kunimura, the late wife of the late great Tony T. Kunimura, which your dad worked for. I mean, what a vision! Way back when they said, "Oh, let's go do something to commemorate Koloa Plantation Days, or just do a luau or do a picnic," and it's turned to much more than a week-long event.
Yeah, it's a huge event. We have events every single day throughout the week. I would encourage anyone to go on the website, koloaplantationdays.com. Look up any events they're interested in, and most of the events are all free. It's a great time to, just learn about the history of Koloa, or just, get to meet other people that are around at that time.
You know what? One of the beautiful things about the parade, which is one of my favorite parades here on the Garden Island Kauai, is that it's choked people on the side of the road. But right after that, everybody, like small kid time, just walks right into the park, and then the Paina Iamai Tapu want to start soon thereafter with a lot of food, games, center stage, entertainment, fun for the whole family.
Yeah, I definitely encourage everyone to end up at the park. The park event has been awesome. It's a place where we have live music, we have Hapa playing, we have Jerry Santos that's going to be here. We have Not My First Rodeo who's going to end it. The parade theme this year is Year of the Paniolo, so we figure we have a band playing country music at the end. But also there's a whole variety of food. There's nowhere else on the island you're going to get to go to one location and have the ability to choose all different types of varieties of food from all different types of cultures. And we have a silent auction, we have craft fair booth, and we have also some events for kids there too. So it's a great place to stop and just enjoy the afternoon at.
And not only that, Arokanashiro, not only that, but the food is all great food, all different types of food, but it is an opportunity we can give back to the community, in the sense that many of these are your friends, my friends, not-for-profits, pop waters, cheerleaders, baseball teams, football teams, Everybody's there for a common cause, but heck of a way to do a fundraiser beneficial to not just the community, but for a not-for-profit.
Yeah, definitely. We encourage organizations that are looking for a fundraiser opportunity. And of course, we always look at koloa first. Are there koloa organizations that want to be there in the food booth? I know food booths aren't the easiest place to be, but we open that venue up for them. And then as far as the public that comes to the park, I mean, you're going to just get wonderful live entertainment that you cannot get anywhere else on the island. And it's just a one-stop shop. Last year, I think we had a very packed house last year, and it's good for everybody. It's good for the food vendors. It's good for the entertainers to have such a huge crowd out while they're playing. And I think everybody, for the most part, enjoys their evening and afternoon there.
And if you just joined us, I am here with Arrow Kaneshiro, and there's a small donation to get into the park. But we want to just let the viewing audience know the small donation is the fact that every year tents cost more, every year rental facilities cost more. Games cost more, travel costs more, lavatories and restrooms cost more. So it's a very, very minimal donation to help the Plantation Day celebration succeed and strive.
It's $5 at the gate for a wristband. KQ 12 and under are free. But yeah, the Koloa Plantation Days puts on an entire event for 1 week. We advertise for it. We do banners, signs. We have this whole park event where we pay for everything. And really, the only income we get from it is the wristbands, some income from our food booth vendors, and from our silent auction, and some sales of the T-shirts. So yeah, a lot of it just comes from the heart. HTA provides a big grant to us every year, which also helps us keep the event going on. But yeah, I would say the wristband is a small cost for what we put on.
And interestingly speaking, when you mentioned the parade, in 2009, during the centennial anniversary 50-year celebration of statehood, then Governor George Ariyoshi, along with the First Lady, came over to Kauai. They were the Grand Marshals, but interestingly speaking, Mrs. Jean Ariyoshi, in that campaign that started in 1994, 25th anniversary, plant a million trees statewide. It's so cool that beautiful golden shower tree was the 1 millionth tree that was planted in December 6, 1985. I mean, chicken skin to the max.
Yeah, and I'm glad you remember that story. I think Auntie Phyllis tells that story all the time. And, those are the things that I think Koloa Plantation Day brings. It brings the opportunity for everyone to talk about what's going on in Koloa, some of the significant places and trees in Koloa. And I think, that knowledge is important for everyone, for people like me that have grown up here, for people that are traveling or enjoy just visiting Kauai or Koloa or Poipu. I think that's very important.
And what I always tell people, not just the visitors, but certainly the local residents, when they drive through Koloa, nobody really thinks about that significance of the triangle. But after all, when you think about it, it was a state national landmark dating back to 1965 because it all began in 1935 as far as sugar is concerned.
Yeah, and the smokestack is still there from one of the old mills. We have that sugar planters monument there that has a lot of history about Koloa. And, a lot of times people just drive by it and they don't actually stop and, look and enjoy and, read up about what's happened in Koloa.
So how do you guys, you talked to yourself about 10 years ago, you were like a wee 27, 28, 29-year-old, if that Phyllis recruited you, Auntie Stella recruited you. I mean, as a leader, like as a county council chair, are you recruiting younger people, or how does all of this stuff work? Is there interest?
I would love to. If anyone's interested, please stop me anytime. I would love to find someone like how Auntie Stella found me and just train them up on the things, because I cannot do it forever. It's my 10th year already. But again, I wanted to get back to the Grand Marshal. We have a very exciting Grand Marshal this year. So the theme this year is Year of the Paniolo. CGM Stables is going all out for their rodeo events. And our Grand Marshal in this parade is going to be Eddie Makapo Taniguchi Jr., who is a Hawaii Cattlemen's Association Hall of Famer and a Kauai Hall of Famer, Paniolo Hall of Famer. So we're very lucky to have him as our Grand Marshal in this parade.
So Eddie Taniguchi Sr.?
Junior.
Oh, Junior is going to be out there. But that means that all of Waimea and all of Kekaha and Smoky Valley and everybody, all the Paina Iomai, all our brothers, the Taniguchi Ohana is going to be there.
Yeah, maybe the Duesenberries might make it out here too. I don't know, but I always enjoy being able to cherish these living legends while they're alive and able to, you know, interact with everybody and actually enjoy the experience too.
You know, and sometimes in many cases it is sad because we don't think about the living treasures here on our Garden Island Koi until it's too late. But I'm glad that you guys are honoring, in this case, the Eddie Taniguchi Jr. And the family and the Ohana, because it gives a great reason that people can come out. The theme, the Year of the Paniolo, has really gravitated and caught on because not just CJM Stables and everybody else, but who does not want to see a rodeo, and the guys that ride these big bulls and rope the big bulls, and it's a sport, it's athletic, but it's also equally dangerous.
Yeah, and you'll see even in the parade, a lot of people are gonna be conforming to the theme. So you're likely to see a lot of cowboy boots, cowboy hats, jeans. We're gonna have riding units in the parade. It'll be fun. The parade should be fun, and again, you know, Eddie Makapo Jr., Taniguchi Jr. and his family is gonna be in it too. So it should be a nice event.
You know, it's something that a lot of people don't realize, that you have your marshals that patrol the road, but this is not like something that you just practice every day, because when the horse is coming down the road, you better know how to control the horses, because they're seeing literally thousands of people just a few feet away, clapping, screaming, kids, everything else. So you got to know how to control the animal. In this case, is these big horses.
Yeah, and you know, fortunately for us, we have, which I think is pretty unique to our parade, we have riding marshals who are on horses. Lorna Orderkirk organizes a group, and you know, they're very professional. They've very experienced horsemen. So you know, they're able to watch the crowd. They're able to see, you know, if people are having trouble with their horse, and they'll go and help them, or you know, maybe pull them on the side and maybe pull them out of the parade, because of course safety is the #1 priority for the parade.
You know, you must be so enlightened and delighted, because when the people participate in the parade, it's not just you show up half hour before the parade and then you ride the parade, 2 hours later you pow. They have to prepare. You know, they make their lay, they go to the mountains, they go to the ocean, they do everything. And for us in particular, we look and we go like, well, that's natural. But for a visitor or somebody that's never seen all of this detail in the lay, I mean, the lay itself weighs 50 pounds.
Yeah, and it's a lot of work. I can tell you, that's why, you know, I'm so very grateful for everyone that participates in the parade, because it is work, you know, to get those lays for the horses, to just organize everyone, to get everyone pumped up to be in the parade. Again, if it wasn't for these people that have that passion to be in the parade, we wouldn't even have a parade to begin with. So I'm fortunate that we have participants year after year that participate and go all out in the parade.
Yeah, and I'm really glad that you made mention to that, because simply, you know, in this day and age in Hawaii, I don't care if you're from the Big Island, you're from Maui, you're from Oahu, you're from Molokai, Lanai, if you can continue to perpetuate what was then in the past, because as we all remember, you know, from Mauka to Makai, all we saw was sugarcane, and that was a big part of the history. And you know, we could smell the cane, we would watch the cane fire, we would run behind the mosquito punk truck or whatever we did as kids. But the fact of the matter is that is a bygone era that we need to perpetuate, because it is the kupuna that passes it on down to us, that we can pass it on down to the next generation.
Yeah, and you know, we're getting to a time where people are starting to forget what the sugar plantation was like, and you know, so Koloa Plantation Days is a good time to remind people, you know, for people to start talking about it and internalizing, you know, what it was like 100 years ago, or what it was like 70, even 50 years ago. We had sugar 20 years ago. But you know, a lot of people growing up now won't be able to experience that, won't know about it. And you know, for them, I think the only way to learn about it is to hear it from their elders.
That's a very good way to describe that, because of the people need to listen. You know, we've had various themes, talk story, walaau segments, but that's the way that the history and the chicken skin and the mana'o gets passed down. Because if we don't listen to the generations of the past, we've lost it.
Yeah, and you know, fortunately, Auntie Phyllis had the foresight to know that, you know, she understood that, and we're actually working on a book that has interviews from Auntie Stella. It has interviews from Auntie Phyllis, and it has interviews from a lot of people in the Koloa area. And you know, I'm really excited about the book. I don't think we're going to be able to release the book this year. It's getting very close to being completed, but By next year's Koloa Plantation Days, we will have a Koloa Plantation Day book that has, a lot of testimony from people, and it'll be an exciting book, just stories about what had happened in Koloa, and it's all personal stories from people that actually experienced it.
Now, is Koloa part of the Grove Farm boundaries?
Yeah, so Grove Farm actually owns the Koloa Mill area. Grove Farm purchased Koloa Plantation in like the late 1940s. With that purchase, they're able to get more sugarcane land and actually have their own mill. So prior to that, they were milling, contract milling with Lihui Plantation.
It's very interesting and very incredible that sugar all began there in Koloa in 1835, and there's no mistake statewide. Kauai had a lot of sugar, not being the biggest island, but what a blessing to have Mount Waialeale, one of the wettest spots on the face of the planet, because that crop then and now is a very thirsty crop.
Yeah, it was a thirsty crop. We have Waitau Reservoir. I mean, if anyone's interested in that, on Thursday the 25th, we're actually doing, Grove Farm puts on a free look through the plantation era tour at Koloa Mill. You won't get to go into the mill, but you'll hear a history of how Koloa Plantation was created. And we also have vans donated by Hartong and Kauai ATV. And we'll be taking people through the tunnel and to Waitau Reservoir to experience it. Because other than that, it's closed up. The only other way you can do it is to actually go on a paid tour. But for this one day, we provide it free.
And then we do have a chronological order as to what is going on during this Plantation Day celebration. If you just joined us, I'm here with Errol Kaneshiro, a young man that wears many hats on the Garden Island Kauai. Can you give us a website and then also give a little passionate plea to let people know if they're going to go sign up to come to the parade, no just show up parade morning?
Yeah, so again, for any information on Koloa Plantation Days, koloaplantationdays.com. Check out the website and look at the schedule. There's a whole bunch of events every single day for one entire week. And if you're interested in any of them, I would encourage everyone to go and check it out. And again, I'm pretty sure most of them are free events, so it's a good time to go. And then, yeah, to all my parade participants, please turn your forms in sooner than later. But no matter what, I'll still be working on the lineup till the wee hours of the morning on the night before.
Exactly, and sleep is not on the itinerary because being so proud to have had the privilege for many years to be the master of ceremonies. Every time we get to number 47, entry number 47, between number 48, some guys go and sneak in, and then you look, you flip the pages, and then no more nothing about these guys. And then when you get to 78, 79, somebody else pops in, and we don't know what to say about them. We just got to wing them, man.
Yeah, on the day of, we have classic cars. If it's raining, some of them pull out right away. I'm like hectically calling everyone, trying to have an organized list, but we're like, cross this one off, this one changed, this one's new. But in the end, it's a great parade to just watch. Yeah, and we have great MCs along the way. We have Dickie Chang at Suyoka's, we have BB Choi, more in Koloa Town, and then we have Teak Ruby Ano, who's up by the park.
Oh yeah, brother Teak.
Yeah.
Well, God bless. Anyway, why don't you just share this opportunity to give your aloha, Errol Kaneshiro, to everybody that's participating, the volunteers, the many vendors, and the countless hours of just doing what you guys got to do for this event.
Yeah, no, a big shout out to everyone that has put on an event, helped make an event possible, and then to everyone that comes out and actually participates or checks out the events, because again, it's a 1 week long event that I would encourage everyone to come and try and get the most out of it as possible. And again, it's the one event for Koloa once a year. It's a great event. So,
thank you, Errol. The parade route will be closed, Maluhia Road, at 9 o'clock a.m. So please let our visitors know, let the residents know that the alternate route, of course, is going to be Omau Road. And remember, the parade starts promptly there at 10 o'clock a.m. this coming Saturday. We, as always, Walaau, will be right in front of Suioka. So we'll check you guys out there. Don't go away. When we come back, the last interview that we did with then Phyllis Kunimura, who passed away on a very untimely note just about a year and a half ago. Don't go away, gang. Walaau, we'll be right back with Auntie Phyllis Kunimura.
Healthier is quality care close to home. Healthier is state-of-the-art facilities and the largest and best team of doctors on Kauai. It's specialty care and caring in a special way. Healthier is Kauai's only comprehensive bone and joint center with expertise in joint replacement, hands, feet, ankles, and sports medicine. Wilcox Health, creating a healthier Hawaii.
Aloha, I'm Barbara Bennett, owner and publisher of the Islands Monthly Community Magazine for Kauai. Available at newsstands, mailed to you by request, or at the Honolulu and Lihue airports. I invite you to join our local residents and read our stories. All local, all community, all Kauai. Read For Kauai magazine on our website, forkauaionline.com, with more feature stories, videos, daily calendar, and local news that will excite and interest you. Visit us daily, weekly on the web, and monthly in print. Mahalo and aloha.
Captain Andy's sailing. Nobody has more fun. Captain Andy's, the ultimate sailing adventure.
Welcome back, Kauai. Back in 1985, I think it was called the sesquicentennial of the arrivals of the early sugar workers. Remember, dating back all the way from 1835. So consequently, the Koloa Plantation Day celebration, actually the luau, actually started in 1985. One of the co-authors and the co-chairs of the event was, of course, Phyllis Kunimura. Phyllis Kunimura is the late wife of the late former mayor, Tony T. Kunimura. We caught up with her, and little did we know was going to be the last interview we ever did with then Phyllis Kunimura.
It means a lot of history. It means when we go back to the sesquicentennial, which was the very first Koloa Plantation Day celebration way back in 1985, it was a one-day celebration of 150 years of sugar in the state of Hawaii, and it was put on by the Sugar Planters Association. So it had cane cutting, and it had the monument was dedicated, and we did a big luau up under the trees by the post office that was catered by Suyoka Store. And people were sitting around, enjoying the luau and saying, gosh, this is fun. We should do this more often. And people started talking about the history of Koloa, and how many things had happened here, and the dock, and all of the things that Koloa is known for. And at that time we had the Captain Cook Days in Waimea, and we had something in Kapa'a, and so we thought, gee, why not continue this in Koloa? So then for another year, Tony was mayor at that time, so then he got together with the same people that put on the sesquicentennial, the Sugar Planters Association group, and asked if they would do it a second time. And they did. And so we had Koloa Plantation Day celebration again in July the following year. So now on the third year, which would have been 1987, nothing happened. So they didn't want to continue it, and so then Bob Watts called me and he said, Phyllis, why don't we try to make this happen again? And so Bob and I sent out letters to many community people, put it in the newspaper, come on out. And we had a meeting at the multi-purpose room at the library here in Koloa of people that were interested in making Koloa Plantation Days happen again. And we had a great turnout. People were really interested in doing that. And we came to the discussion that we should enlarge it, have it up at the park where a lot more people could come. The parade would still be part of it, and so people had so many exciting ideas. And then getting visitor industry involved in everything. And so at that point, one of the main concerns was, well, if we do it up at the park, what if there's an accident? What do we do for coverage, or how are we going to be covered? Say I'm on the board or something and something happens, will I get sued for it? So at that point we realized that we need to become incorporated. So then Bob Watts and myself, we worked with local lawyers who did pro bono work, and we became incorporated. So now it is Koloa Plantation Days Incorporated. And so I've been president of Koloa Plantation Incorporated. This is the 30th year of that. But overall, we have a board, and then we have a committee, and then you have all the events with that. Most of the board people are also on the committee, but that's how it is governed and passed on.
I have a couple of comments. First of all, I would like to say, when you mentioned Tony, we are talking about your late husband, the Honorable Mayor Tony T. Kunimura itself. That's number one. Number two, the first thing I think is that it's too bad that we can only do this once a year, because this conversation could go on and on and on about all the history and all the people and all the great memories. But more importantly, I can hear your voice, the passion, but you remember that passion in 85, 32 years later. That is insane. The very famous picture that we always talk about is when Governor George Ariyoshi joined yourself, Mayor Kunimura, and we also had two kids that we always used to try to identify those
Ramos,
kids.
I know they were Ramos children.
And hopefully they're still alive because they're celebrities.
Yeah.
But your dear friend back in 85 and more recently in 2009 for the 50th anniversary of statehood, the Grand Marshals, Gene and George Ariyoshi, George, the governor, kept saying, Phyllis, make this happen, make this happen, don't stop this, don't stop this.
That's exactly what he said. Don't stop this, because it is so hometown. It's not commercial. It's what Koloa's about. It's what Kauai is about. And for the people living in Koloa, I always think it's important that we give back pride. We do things to help people be proud of their community, proud of Kauai, to get our young people back here again. This is their roots. So come back, share this with your stories with your grandparents, pass on your history. That's who we are. And more we're getting away from who we really are. We're getting so spread out.
Effervescent and mesmerizing.
Phyllis
Kunimura! Nathan!
You are awesome. You are awesome. Thank you so much for all that you do.
True dear friend of all of Kauai and Koloa, it's an honor. Phyllis Kunimura,
Thank you,
ladies and gentlemen.
Phyllis Kunimura.
Hi, my name is Sherry Kawachi. I am a sales representative at King Auto Center, where we have the best new and used cars on Kauai. Standing right next to this beautiful brand new Honda Pilot. Come see this and more at King Auto Center. Be sure to ask for me, Sherry Kawachi. Thank you.
Feel the beauty of this sign up, down from the beaches to the highest mountain. Different people living as one, in harmony under the sun on the island, in the middle of the sea.
Puakea Golf Course. Call for your tee times today.
Aloha, my name is Joyce Vidina, and I'm the chair of the Events and Activities Committee for the Kauai Chamber of Commerce. Welcome to 2019. We have a full year ready for you. We have our tasks on that committee is to fill our chamber calendar. We are committed to presenting 10 business after hours, 4 quarterly dinners, several lunches here and there, and seminars. We are fortunate that this year our calendar is almost full with 2 more slots at the end of the year. We welcome you to join us at our business after hours or our quarterly dinners. And once again, my name is Joyce Vidina from the Events and Activities Committee with the Kauai Chamber of Commerce. Thank you.
We hope you enjoyed this week's episode of Walaau. As always, we'd like to sincerely thank each and every one of you for watching Walaau and making us a part of your week in and week out festivities here in our beautiful Garden Island of Kauai. Walaau, located on Spectrum, channel 128, that's 7 a.m., 12 noon, 4 p.m., 7 p.m., 12 midnight. That's Spectrum Cable, channel 128, again, 7 a.m., 12 noon, 4 p.m., 7 p.m., 12 midnight. Or, of course, you can catch us on YouTube at Walaau Kauai, YouTube Walaau Kauai. Reminder, as we speak, there's a lot of many events that's going to be happening. You can log on to the koloaplantationdays.com, or of course look at the pages of our dear friends from the Garden Island newspaper. And remember, the granddaddy doozy, one of the many, is going to be the parade. Maluhia Road going in and out of Koloa will be closed from 9 a.m. on Saturday. The parade promptly starts at 10 a.m. and of course we'll paina and have a great time there in the Annie Knudsen Park there on the outskirts of beautiful downtown Koloa. It is time for us to heli on. As always, let's all continue to take care of our families, our friends, the neighbors, the Malihini and Diana, and we'll check you out next week. See you at the parade. Only on Walaau.
Walaau,